get back into it.
My time's expired. I know we're going to go, Chairman, but I would love to revisit maybe on a second round. Just, do you have the technology to stay abreast of what's the folks on the other side?
Thanks, Senator Warner. We will have a second round to Senator Corcoran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your testimony. Why is there a circuit breaker on the way up?
Sorry. Interestingly, there were 5 securities whose stocks were executed at $100,000, going up, very, very dramatically. Hewlett-Packard was one, Apple was another. So the people are disadvantaged when they buy a stock at a $100,000 price, as much as someone has been disadvantaged when they sell at the penny. And so it's the other side of the stub quote. So our view is, and the market's view, because these are the market's rules, was that fairness really dictates that the circuit breaker work in both directions.
And if I might add, in the futures marketplace, the very small pauses, these 5 or 10-second pauses that are across all the futures contracts, are about allowing liquidity to come back in. Sometimes in the nanoseconds, there aren't sufficient number of buy orders or sell orders, and so it's about liquidity pauses in the futures markets 5 or 10 seconds. And so it's to make sure they're orderly markets, that we're not a price-setting agency at the CFTC. It's about orderly markets.
Mm-hmm. Nor, of course, is the SEC.
Mm-hmm. So after 5 minutes, you have this breaker. Is there any issue with how trades or what order they're traded in after that? I assume there's a backup of trades. So how do you decide what gets executed after that 5-minute circuit breaker?
The primary listing market will be responsible for reopening the trading after the 5-minute pause. So during that period, they'll be trying to attract liquidity and establish a new price for reopening the security. They will do it really just the way they do it now when there's a halt, as we have for news pending in the markets today. So I'm sure they can answer that question on the next panel in much more detail.
So there's no issue there?
I'm sure as we put these rules out for comment, I'm sure there will be many very specific technical implementation issues that we'll have to work through during that 10-day comment period and then before the markets implement the circuit breakers and even while they go through their testing of the circuit breakers.
Mm-hmm. The whole issue, I know there's been a number of questions regarding breaking trades, but so we have this, situation where we engaged in a lot of technology where people are, the thing they're most concerned about is how close they can locate to exchanges and how quickly. Then and so that all works to the good, and then on the other hand, we break trades when things get out of alignment. It just feels incredibly arbitrary, and it doesn't feel like the kind of. Why do we do that? I mean,
I agree. It feels competitive.
On one hand, we create these tremendous advantages, and then when it doesn't work well, we figure out a way to make it work well.
Well, and in fact, that's one of the reasons for circuit breakers. It's our view, and I believe it's the market's views, that circuit breakers should dramatically decrease the number of trades that have to be broken because of a price that's clearly erroneous. And were there better linkages among the exchanges with respect to things like circuit breakers or liquidity replenishment points or volatility halts and all of these things earlier on, we probably wouldn't have had anywhere near the number of broken trades. It's not a good position for us to be in where we're cleaning up afterwards, and that's what breaking trades is about. We need to have upfront the protection like circuit breakers that should diminish the number of trades that might ever have to be considered to be broken. I'm sure we'll never eliminate them entirely. There will be people make mistakes when they enter orders, but they should be minimized.